Welcome back to What's Trending from South by Southwest. I'm Shira Lazar, coming to you from the Samsung Blogger Lounge with Drew Goddard. He's the director and writer of Cabin in the Woods. How are you?
I couldn't be better. It is so good to be here.
And your movie premiered last night, so were you surprised by the great reactions?
It was
Something you hope for.
It's definitely what you hope for, but this premiere was beyond our wildest dreams. I mean, we couldn't have asked for a better crowd than the South by Southwest.
What makes it a great crowd?
I just feel like there's a swagger to South by Southwest. You know, like you could tell it's a crowd that's here to have a good time and is here to see something fun, and you can just feel that energy in the theater. It was palpable, and so when it was finished, it was overwhelming for me.
And you've got some very thoughtful fans, right? They're asking some pretty interesting questions of you guys.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to see, and that's always been the case. I've been working with Joss Whedon, who co-wrote the film with me and produced it, and that's always been the case with his fans. I think he has never written down to an audience in his career. He always writes up, and as a result, it brings a higher level of fan with it, and we get so many intelligent questions from our fans. It's nice to see.
And I feel like a lot of people are describing this as like the ultimate horror movie. What makes it the ultimate horror film?
I mean, I don't know that we set out to make the ultimate horror film. We love horror movies.
Yeah.
Like, this came from a place of like, Joss and I love this genre, and we wanted to make our version of this genre. And because of, we didn't develop this for a studio. We just sat down and said, let's just write a script for the sake of writing it.
Yeah.
And because of that, it gave us the freedom to do whatever we wanted to. And so we just packed everything we possibly could into one movie.
So describe, what are the highlights of horror, your horror?
In terms of what are my favorite horror
moments
movies?
that you guys have created in this movie.
Well, it's tough. It's a tough thing because we don't want to give too much away, because so much of Cabin is about surprise and giving an audience a thrill ride and undercutting their expectations and so it's hard. It's a difficult movie to talk about, but it really comes from this place of love, and so we always say, look, if you love horror movies, we tried to make the best one we possibly could for you.
And what's the overall story around it?
It's our sort of play on five teenagers go to a cabin in the woods. And they go.
So you don't go to a hotel or a hostel or anything.
Exactly.
A cabin.
Cabin in the woods. Which
that makes sense with its title.
We called it that, so it worked out well. And they go to the cabin to do the things that kids do, which is party, have sex, get into trouble.
Yeah.
And as tends to happen with these types of movies, bad things ensue.
Do you ever get nervous creating a horror movie? Like you feel like you're there?
Oh yeah, definitely. I was a very terrified child. Horror movies scare me, and certainly in the course of making it, I would see things and force actors to do things that would terrify even me. And so it was definitely, I needed some psychological help after making this movie.
That's why you're here on the couch, actually. Today.
I'm on the couch.
This is an intervention.
Let's talk about me for a little bit. Yeah, I got some problems.
Tell me about how your collaborations with Joss have evolved over the years in the process.
Yeah, well, we started writing on a TV show Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and we just got along really well, and we got in this habit of writing scripts very quickly because we were always so behind on that show. But what that forced you to do is it gave it this sort of free form. It was almost like a jam band,
Cool.
Just playing in the garage and not worrying about who we're making this for, or if a studio's going to buy it, or you just sort of did it. You just sort of went with it and found and worked on what you liked, and we sort of tried to keep that energy going. Certainly, Cabin was nothing but a labor of love. Like
it took a few years to develop, and I think it goes back to when you're doing it because you feel like you need to do it.
Right.
That's a philosophy for a lot of the projects that you guys work on.
Absolutely, yeah. We definitely try to keep that. We don't really worry about what's trendy or what's. We worry about what's trending, but we don't worry about like what the studio thinks an audience wants. We just worry about telling it something new and fresh.
And you're not even on Twitter. Let's talk about social media.
Right.
And what that means to you, and maybe I want to hear why you've decided, both of you, not to be on Twitter.
Well, it's interesting. We sort of came of age with Buffy at the time when message boards were just really starting, and it was fun to see this evolve.
Yeah.
And Buffy very much had a very interactive group, and I sort of missed that. It always felt like we were talking in secret with the fans, if that makes sense. Like it felt like no one was really watching us. We could just talk. The thing that sort of happened with Twitter is suddenly if I tweeted something, suddenly the press would quote it, and I sort of miss that interaction with the fans where it was like, no, this isn't for the press. This is just so we can talk. You know, like I miss that, and then, but look, I love Twitter. I just don't know that I have the time.
No, but I was surprised.
I fall down that hole.
Sometimes I was looking for Joss or you, and I'm like, oh my God, because I look at you guys at being very digitally savvy, and your audience is very digital, and they're nerds and all that fun stuff.
Right.
So I guess, how do you continue to build those communities?
Yeah, I'm trying to. I don't really know the answer to that question.
Maybe just creating good stuff.
Yeah, and just getting out there. Like, we love doing stuff like this. Like, I actually get to go meet fans in person, which is such a foreign element these days. It's actually nice to just sort of go out and talk to people on the street. It's like, what's going on in this day and age? I know, face to face. It's been fun.
And now, Joss and you, are you going to be doing anything on the web soon?
Yeah, I mean, I was lucky enough to be in the musical he wrote was Dr. Horrible.
Loved that.
Right, it's the greatest.
Everyone has.
And so I think really my contribution will be to keep prodding him to do Dr. Horrible too. Just make
everyone wants him
right?
to do it.
I mean, this is just me speaking.
Bring it to Broadway. I mean, to 360.
Just do another one, Whedon. Come on.
Neil Patrick Harris. You could put Neil in anything, NPH in anything, and it would be great.
I like that you're on an NPH basis with him. Like it's a real familiarity that you've got with Neil.
He knows NPH and I.
Yeah.
We're like
nice.
this.
That's nice.
What advice can you give to filmmakers, writers who are getting in the game right now and look up to your work and what you've done?
Yeah, I mean, the lesson, as I was saying, the lesson we learned with Cabin is just write what you like.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't worry about what everyone else thinks is going to be successful, because they're always wrong. Like, people change, audiences change, but audiences always respond to something fresh, and they always respond to passion. And so if you're passionate about something, you have to follow that, and don't worry about, guessing what everyone else wants you to do.
And how do you feel, finally, I guess digital is changing the filmmaking process and what you guys will put out in the future? It's
nice, it definitely gives us a freedom, because before you needed, millions and millions of dollars to make movies, and now you just need, a camera. Like, and my phone has a camera. We can make movies. We can make what we want, and we don't need the big money bags. And that gives you a freedom. You can just sort of do whatever you want.
Yes, definitely. Now, Cabin in the Woods is in theaters.
It will be in theaters April 13th, Friday the 13th.
So put it on your calendar, Friday the 13th. Don't be afraid. Just go do it.
Just
right?
Do it. Just do it right now.
Drew, thank you so much for stopping by.
It's
I really
a pleasure.
appreciate it. Have fun with the rest of your time at South by Southwest.
Thank you so much.
And all of you out there, go to Samsung.com/HowOlympic.are-you. Log in and see who you're connected to. What Olympians? We're all connected to an Olympian. So if you go to that, it's true. It's like 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, right? But we're doing it with the Olympians. So go to Samsung.com/HowOlympic.are-you and keep it right here on YouTube.com/What's Trending. We are taking your tweets at What's Trending. See you soon.